Sairam to all of you. Welcome to this session of the chapter General Principles and Processes of Isolation of Elements. So, in this segment, we are going to talk about elements, where do we get them, what are its uses for our day to day life, how to make it more purified form so that we can use it in certain specific purposes also. So, in the first segment now, we are going to talk about occurrence of metals. What is a metal? In a general sense, how are we going to tabulate this part? Metal is something which is generally hard in nature. You see that these compounds are used for making various solid components. In this segment now, we will study where do we get metals in our general system available around us. The moment we look around everywhere in the atmosphere, we find elements which are gaseous in nature. For example, we have oxygen, nitrogen gas being available there. If you have studied in earlier classes, you will get to know that the percentage of nitrogen is around 78%, percentage of oxygen is around 21%. Rest of the things are a combination of argon, carbon dioxide and various other gases. Now, all these gases can be in the atmosphere because their density is low, they very easily go up. But what about metals? The moment you consider solid compound and have the concept of gravity, they can always be present below, and these metals are generally observed in our Earth's crust. So, what is this crust? Crust is nothing but that area which is present below our living system. So, in these earth crust, we get various metals like aluminum, iron, copper, zinc and various sort of metals. So, for this chapter, we are going to concentrate mainly on these four metallic forms which are going to be obtained. The moment we want these metals now, we first need to undertake certain physical processes. You must have heard of Kolar gold mines which have been present. What do they do there basically? First, it is the large JCB like structures which dig in the earth's crust. So, all these metals present in the earth's crust first need to be removed out physically. The first process happens to be a physical process of removing out, but the problem here is you may get metals from the earth's crust, but they are not pure there. Many such metals are combined with others, and also there is another component of dust being present. With the earth's crust having mud particles, all these metals will be combined with mud. Along with that, they may be present in combination. For example, if I want to remove copper, I may get iron also along with it. So, whichever metal I want, I need to see to it that I get a best purified form of that element. So, now going into the earth's crust, we remove certain rock particles with due analysis, and those compounds which we get after removal from the earth's crust, we call them as minerals. What are minerals now? Minerals are compounds which contain metallic forms in them, which contain metals in them. Certain aspect of this you have studied in probably your social sciences or maybe geography in your earlier classes, where if you wanted to obtain iron, you had certain minerals like hematite. This was one mineral of iron. Then you had magnetite. You also had limonite. Then along with this, you must have studied another component called as siderite. There are various other parts also like iron pyrites and all that. So, iron can be found in all these four segments in the earth's crust. Now, the question is, are you going to run behind all these four minerals to obtain iron? You can't, because whenever you think of a process which is physical in nature, economics comes into play. The subject may be chemistry, but in day to day life, economic factors contribute a lot to utilizing these metals. So therefore, with proper analysis, we realize that hematite contains around 68% of iron, which means that if you remove certain amount of hematite, 68% of that is iron, the rest is either some impurity materials or dust or any other impurities. But in comparison to this, magnetite has around 72%. And then you have limonite and siderite, which are just around 40% and 25% respectively. So in the first case, what we can do is, with iron content being too less, we shall not go for these two minerals for extraction. So now, should I go for magnetite or hematite? At the chemistry point of view, we can believe that we should prefer magnetite because the percentage of iron is high. But economically, this doesn't work out because hematite is present in large quantities of the Earth's crust. This hematite is available in various countries of this world. So though the percentage might be a little less, availability of hematite is large. So here, for the extraction of iron, we tend to use hematite among all the four which are there. So this hematite has another terminology called as ore. What are minerals? We already saw that minerals are those compounds which contain metals in them. The minerals of iron are hematite, magnetite, limonite, siderite. All these four are minerals, but all the four cannot be economically utilized. What can be utilized is hematite, that is called ore. So how will I define ore now? Ore is that mineral which can be used to extract the metal economically. You cannot use other minerals for economic utilization, whereas hematite is that mineral which can be utilized as an ore to extract metal. So in general sense, looking into some English part of it, all the minerals which are there, which are present here, cannot act like an ore. But an ore is definitely a mineral. An ore is a mineral, but all minerals cannot act like an ore. So this is one basic point that we tend to see in this occurrence part, where metallurgy is defined as the process of scientific and technological utilizations with economic factors keeping in mind. So economic factors here are utilized so that proper extraction of all these metals are obtained. So as example, let us see which are some ores that are being present. For iron, we already spoke regarding hematite. For aluminium, we have a compound called as bauxite. So aluminium is the metal. There are various forms of aluminium, aluminium oxide, aluminium carbonate and all that, but the ore of aluminium is called as bauxite. So extraction of aluminium, which we will study in further aspects. Similarly, when we go for copper and all, we have copper pyrites, we have copper sulfide forms which are there. Similarly, for zinc, we have zinc blende, we have zincite. For copper, we also have malachite. Like this, there are various forms of ores which are been present, which depending on the percentage of metal present in that ore, we are going to decide, can we use that particular metal or that ore for our metallurgical processes. So this is just an overview of occurrence of the metals in our Earth's crust. Thank you. Sai Ram.